WildCATs is one of the first comic books I bought with my own money when I was a kid, and the title from Image is one I can honestly say I have read almost every single issue of. Somehow, though, I missed the game's release in 1995 and did not play it until years later in college. Once I did learn about it, though, I couldn't wait to try out Jim Lee's WildCATs. Developed by Beam Software, this is a side-scrolling beat-em-up that allowed players to take control of a few members of this covert action team to stop the evil Lord Hellspawn, leader of the Daemonites. Though the first part must be played as Spartan, players are soon allowed to pick between him, Warblade, and Maul, with certain objectives needing to be accomplished to progress to the next character, guiding the player's choice. But wait, why were Grifter, Zealot, and Voodoo left out? I thought Grifter was everyone's favorite. Not mine, that's Voodoo. But still, this seems like an odd choice. While we're on this part, I cannot figure out why this game is only one player. That seems ridiculous for a beat-em-up, especially one that stars an entire team of heroes. Having two players would be a great feature, and there may be reasons why it wasn't done, but this is a big complaint in my opinion. Each character plays just a little bit differently. Warblade can climb walls, Maul has a special grab attack, but Spartan seems to be the best all around. Characters have multiple attacks and a special that affects the whole screen. The combat feels fine, but I do find it odd that enemies can block but I can't. The game can be a bit tough for sure, but there are plenty of health pickups available. The bosses are probably the toughest part, as some of them take figuring out and can be a bit cheesy. The final fight with Lord Hellspawn is a perfect example of this, as some of the character's moves don't even affect him. The difficulty of the game does make me sad that the password system is almost useless. There are only a couple of spots in the game that I can actually take the player to. The enemies have decent variation with their models and attacks. The stages also use environmental hazards and obstacles as well, but it can be confusing when trying to figure out where to go. The game has some wonderful visuals and backgrounds to move through. I love the stage where it's storming, as the rain and lightning effects work perfectly. The foreground items are nice, but they can obstruct from the action at times. Also, the game does flicker a small bit when too many sprites group up. The game's music is energetic and the style fits the tone. I love the MIDI version of the theme from the cartoon at the beginning. What fails are the sound effects, as the hits are not satisfying and attacks fall flat. It sounds like they recorded two different enemy grunts and decided that was enough, no need for variety there. The story is honestly nothing special, but there are neat parts for those who know anything about the source material. There is a cool intro and character profiles at the beginning, while the in-game story bits are done with the sprites and chat bubbles to mimic the comic. I can't blame anyone though for not liking the story if this is their first foray with the WildCATs. Overall, I think this is a good SNES title for beat-em-up fans, or someone like me who also happens to love the comic and the cartoon, but I can see it getting old quick for others. The cartridge can be a bit hard to find out in the wild sometimes, and the price tends to fluctuate a good bit. I know the comic is done and the show is long gone, but I would love to see these heroes have another chance to claw their way back into the video game world.